Welcome in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining wherever you may be, whether it's your first time, your last time. Thank you for taking this time to join me, your host, AP, on Timeouts and Tangents. I can't appreciate you guys enough for the support that you have been showing as we are growing and growing and growing. Thank y'all so much for everything that you're doing. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking. And thank you for subscribing. Let me start off this show this afternoon with thanking the guys and Jenna. Can't leave out Jenna from last night. Um, all things go, ATG man. Appreciate you for putting together that round table last night. Purple Mafia, Zombie Bob, man. Thank y'all. Austin, thank you for being in this pod. Buddha, thank you for being in this pod, man, and showing love. Yeah, definitely a long time listener, Nick. You're probably the first one too. Um, thank you for putting together that pod last night. I mean, 5 hours strong. You know, I got to be a part of it for four. I had to tap out in the end, guys. I had to get up and go to training. But when I tell you, it was absolutely amazing. It's amazing to see the community that we are establishing, that we're building, centered around LSU. You know, and this is a beautiful time. There's I said it to Buddha last week when we did our stream together, and I'm gonna say it again. There's not a single university in this country that can unify a base the way Louisiana State University can. You don't have to worry about cheering for different sides like you do with Alabama and Auburn. You don't have to worry about the recruiting pools being split because of having another Power Five program. And the great thing, the consistent thing that we have in Louisiana is LSU. And LSU constantly proves why you should support it. It thrives in all aspects of athletics and it's breaking boundaries in academics as well. It is a reason to support because it produces and draws in people from all over the globe to give back to our community. And we love the individuals who come to LSU and then decide to stay in Louisiana because the culture here is different, because it breeds consistency and it breeds a different environment. You come down here, get baptized in this Southern hospitality, and you kind of don't ever want to let it go because there's no place like it. It is legitimately just different. And I can tell you that right now, what's going on within Tiger Nation around LSU is something I've yet to see. The collaboration efforts of content creators, of fans, and supporters, parents, people in academia alike is unrivaled, and it's great to see. So I want to say thank you again for being a part of history because that was the first time something like that has taken place. And I'm looking forward to it taking place again. So let's get into it. We're not going to be out here in these people streets too long today because there's some good things going on. The Senior Bowl is about to happen, and I'm intrigued to watch that. I want to see Nussmeyer. I want to see Aaron Anderson. I want to see Chris Hilton Jr. I want to see our LSU guys perform and how they do. Practices are really the important thing at the Senior Bowl, and those guys have performed well. But I want to see Nussmeyer in live game reps, throwing to his receivers, in the competitive fashion and doing something that we haven't really seen him do all year because he's been plagued with injury. So I want to see if he's, kind of rounding into shape and getting back to his form. And I'm excited to see what Nussmeyer has left in the tank. But let's start with, a non-football related story and a non-LSU related story real quick. This Amari Bailey situation is absolutely stupid. It is the most out of touch, unrealistic thing I have seen to date. And it is only the beginning. We thought we saw something when Alabama pulled the G League player disrespect to the NCAA, that was actually the door cracking open. But now you have an actual player who has played NBA games trying to make his way back to college athletics. Sir, I am sorry to inform you, but you played at UCLA for multiple years. You then made the decision in 2023 to forego the remaining years of eligibility you had to become a professional. You made an adult decision. And guess what? You're finding out, like most adults do, that the decision that you made sucked. And it's over for you. Or at least you feel like it. But it doesn't have to end there. You have a choice. You can decide to get in the lab, train, and get better so you can be on equal footing with the level of competition that you're faced up against. Or you could just not play in the NBA, go overseas, play in the G League. Or how about this? Find a new career. That's what grown-ups do. Instead, you want to run back to amateur athletics because you feel like you have an advantage. Well, what is it going to do for you? Elevate your draft stock? That ain't going to happen. Newsflash, you've already been in the draft. Maybe you forgot about that. But the NCAA has to get its stuff together on this because this cannot take place. It can't happen. If you start even allowing this to be entertained, it's going to try to spill over into every aspect of college athletics. Now, football is in a different lane. And I think that the way that the NFL works and how a system is set up, it's setting college football to continuously be the only feeder system for the NFL. Of course, the rise of the USFL and these other leagues have come in, but they're mainly taking the guys who couldn't cut it in the NFL and repurposing them to continue to live out their dreams of playing professional football. It's another avenue for guys who just couldn't make it. But by no way, shape, or form is it a feeder system to the NFL quite yet. So I think you'll see the reverse in in college football where guys will fight to stay longer in college football because they can make more money. A college football player, like for instance, Darian Minsa. Here's a kid who's come out publicly saying that he wants to be an NFL quarterback. Great. You had the opportunity to go to NFL this year. You elected not to. Cool. And it's a smart decision for you not to. It's a weaker draft class right now. So you could have had the opportunity to get drafted higher within this draft, but you will still make less money. The better play for Darian Mensah is to take another year in college, maximize his earning potential at the lower level, and then take a shot at the NFL and work his way back up to what his earning potential was in college. The same cannot be said for the NBA, where you have guys who are leaving college, like Amari Bailey, where he played at UCLA in 30 games, started 28 times, and averaged an amazing 11 points, 3.8 rebounds. We can give him four rebounds and 2 assists per game, and decided that it was his opportunity to go to the NBA. That was in 2023. Brother has been out of college for 3 years. You cannot make this stuff up. He was selected in the second round. Somebody gave him bad advice. And because of that bad advice, now you're seeing him try to get more bad advice to come back to college to make more money. Because you don't make a lot in on the G League roster. Those 10-day contracts don't hit the same. So, how do you maximize your earning potential? Go to where the money is. Go back to college. I would be a little more sympathetic to this situation if this was a kid who got drafted last year, got hurt at the start of the season, and isn't getting the playing time or the development that he expected. And even in that situation, I still would say, sorry for you, buddy. You made a choice. You can't come back. This kid, well, he's not a kid anymore. This adult, this grown man should not be able to come back to college sports. And his attorney apparently dropped a statement. And in this statement, he has the nerve to say this. You've got a college age kid who wants to go to college, and you've got a system that says, too bad, you've gone to a different league, so you're out forever. Quoted by Elliot Abrams, Bailey's attorney. Then he says, I don't see any real justification for it. Hey, guess what? Nobody said that you can't go back to college. You just can't go back to playing college basketball. It's over for you. You're cooked. You made the choice. You need to live with it. Move on. Get over it or get better. It's not too much else that you can do in this situation. And the NCAA better take a strong stance on this. Because if it doesn't, it will end up hurting college basketball a hell of a lot more than what you could think. But all of this is coming from people
You know
who
what?
have a sense of
You're
entitlement.
spoiled. You're spoiled.
They are spoiled. And that's why they're acting this way. They feel as if that they're owed something, that they didn't get a fair shake. Unfortunately, you just didn't work hard enough. You got bad advice. You needed more time in college before you decided to go pro. So, like I said, the NCAA needs to come out hard, fast, and firm against this. Make an example out of the situation so that nobody ever gets the thought or idea that they can approach this situation from this standpoint ever again. And look, I understand the NIL era has created an opportunity for people to come in and make money, but that does not give you the opportunity to go pro and then come back. That benefit is for the players who are currently at these collegiate institutions. Once you decide to leave that institution, to leave those teammates, to leave that coaching staff, to become a professional athlete, and you forfeit your amateur status, you are no longer an amateur, and you should not be allowed to play. Not that hard. I'm just a dad who owns some restaurants, and I understand that. So let's move on. In the title, I have said, will Lane Kiffin get his first Heisman winner? Well, if you tuned in on Wednesday night, me and Carter did the stream together, and I made the distinction that I much rather would like to see Sam Leavitt with Lane Kiffin than Trinidad Chambliss. And Carter said, Carter rebuffed that by saying, well, if you're saying that, then you're saying that Sam Leavitt will be a Heisman contender, that he should be in New York because Trinidad Chambliss should have been in New York as well this year. And at first I pushed back on it, but as I've sat down and I thought about this, and I've really put my feet up and considered it, there are a lot of ifs involved with someone going to New York and lifting that trophy. But going into 2019, Joe Burrow was not a Heisman frontrunner. I don't even think he had odds. Jaden Daniels didn't have odds to win his either. Well, how about our boy Sam Leavitt getting some early odds to win the Heisman? Oh, it's on the lower end, of course. But that's still amazing. That other people are having odds for him to be in New York. And I think it's well deserved. Currently, Sam Leavitt is listed with around either 1,300 to 1,500 plus 1,500 odds, tied around fourth to sixth place. That gives him an invite to New York. And like I said, there are a lot of ifs around this. If Sam Leavitt stays healthy, if LSU loses no more than 2 games and is in the playoff, and that offense does what we know Lane Kiffin's offenses do, Sam Leavitt won't only be in New York, he will be the one holding the trophy at the end of the night. And I'm not going to come off that stance. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Cool. I'm cool with that because I'm going to get things wrong more times than I get it right anyway. But Sam Leavitt, become Lane Kiffin's first Heisman Trophy finalist, and damn it, his first Heisman Trophy winner. He's got the talent. Now he's got a true supporting cast. He's got the coaching staff behind him. He's got the brand and the machine to push him into that stratosphere. The only thing he has to do is do what he needs to do on the field. Get the results and win. If he does that, and this team has success, there's not a doubt in my mind that he will not be the guy holding the Heisman and becoming your fourth Heisman winner overall at LSU. Three in less than 10 years. That would be a phenomenal feat. And it's something I really want to do some digging into because I don't think a school would have had 3 different Heisman Trophy winners in a decade span with 3 different coaches. That is absolutely amazing if that can happen. The expectations at LSU are absolutely astronomical right now because of what Lane Kiffin has done and been able to do in the portal. And I'm looking forward to it. I was trying to hold back a little bit, but I can't hold back anymore because if you look back at Lane Kiffin's track record, he is a Kirk Cignetti without saying Google me. The only thing he does is just win. And everybody wants to talk about how he handles situations and how he can be an asshole and immature and all these other things, yada, yada, yada. Great. Congratulations. You're right. But the one thing that people fail to point out is he's a damn winner. And I don't think that winning mentality is going to stop anytime soon, especially here at LSU. If anything, it's only going to get magnified. So if we're going to win on the field, why not win in awards as well? And I think that's the next step that Lane Kiffin will take. So if we weren't spoiled before,
You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
definitely spoiled now. Let's take a look at the schedule real quick. Like I said, we're not going to be here long. I didn't want to carry up too much of your time today. Thank y'all for all those who are in the chat. Thank y'all for watching on Twitter. Appreciate it. The support has been amazing. The community, like I said in the beginning, is absolutely forming, and I love to be a part of it. But when you look at LSU's schedule, especially with 9 SEC games, you think, "Oh my God, this is absolutely brutal," and it is theoretically, especially when you look at the logos: Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M, Auburn, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas. That's rough. But let's dig a little bit deeper into the schedule. Clemson, Texas, and Ole Miss are the three key games on the schedule, not Alabama. And that is a shocker to say that. Alabama is an important game, but it's not a key game. You do what you're supposed to do early in the season. That Alabama game on November 7th will mean something and hold some value to LSU. But I think Alabama is going to take a step back. If you look at the schedule, Clemson, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, and possibly Tennessee are all going to have new starting quarterbacks. I'm going to say that one more time. Clemson, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas. That's 7 out of your 10 key games, out of your big games. 6 out of your 9 SEC games all have new starting quarterbacks. Granted, later in the year, does that truly matter at that point for the final four? No, because by that time those quarterbacks are settled in. You know who they are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, where they're comfortable and uncomfortable, and you can make game plans around them. However, you want to face first time starters. You want that. You want that, especially having Blake Baker as your defensive coordinator. You are coming in to this season with this schedule with a quarterback who has more experience starting than any other quarterback that you will see on the opposite sideline outside of Marcel Reed. And I think he may even have more starting games than Marcel Reed. I know this. Sam Leavitt went to the Big 12 championship and won it. Marcel Reed has not done that. So when you look at the schedule and you look at the logos and you start asking yourself, well, what are they bringing back? You start realizing it's not as much as what we thought. This is not the Clemson with Cade Klubnik and TJ Parker and Stephilian Green, who's now at LSU. This is not the Alabama with Ty Simpson. This is not the Arkansas with Taylor Green. It's a lot of new. It's a lot of question marks. And that should give you hope. Should make you feel a little bit comfortable, more comfortable about where you sit as a football team with this schedule. Don't look at the logos because I can tell you right now, this Alabama team on November 7th is worse than what the Alabama team was last year on November 1st. That's not something for you to sweat on November 8th. I'm sorry. Especially when you think about it, your three key games, like I said, are Clemson, Ole Miss, and Texas. Fourth behind that would be A&M, then Alabama. So this schedule, while it's tough, it's not something that you can't win. It's a very manageable schedule. And I think that the way that this roster has been filled out by Lane Kiffin, by this staff, it's something that you can get excited about. When this schedule first came out, we looked at the roster and was like, oh shit, this is going to be really bad. But now, sitting here on January 31st, getting ready to roll into February, knowing that spring football is right around the corner, knowing that we have the best quarterback class, not only in the SEC, but in the nation, the best quarterback room, knowing that our wide receiver room is very explosive, knowing that our running back room is really complementary to one another, knowing that our offensive line on paper is already better than the offensive line that we had last season. And knowing that you took your defense, which was already solid, and you potentially unlocked them to become elite. You added missing ingredients. It's like having a pot of gumbo and it's good, but then you add some okra and some bay leaves at the end. You let it settle, let it sit overnight. Then that thing take that next step. Then that gumbo go from good to damn. Don't y'all touch this. This is mine. That's what just happened to your defense. So if your defense elevates itself from being a top 30 to a top 15 defense in the nation, and your offense, which was ranked 16th in the SEC in rushing, finishes top 8 in the SEC in rushing, do you think that this schedule is going to be a problem for you? No. It's why you can go 10-2. It's why your floor should be 9-3. This is going to be an exciting time. This season is going to be an exciting season. So when someone brings up the fact of how challenging the schedule is, just remind them that it's challenging because of the amount of quality opponents that you have on it, not because that those teams themselves are challenging like they once were. You got to stay healthy. You have to execute on the field. It is on you as a team to do what you're supposed to do. Don't give any games away. And I think that with this coaching staff and how prepared that they've shown themselves to be before, that they will do just that. This is not, this is not as bad as we thought it is. It's not saying it's easy. Not saying that at all. This is manageable. This is winnable. This is a playoff winning schedule. This is a schedule that can get you in the playoff, and then you can truly make some noise. You win the schedule, you roll how you're supposed to. That's what gets Sam Leavitt to New York. That's what gets him this Heisman. That is what elevates Lane Kiffin's status as one of the best, if not the best, coaches in all of college football. Then you get in the playoffs and go on a run. You see how things match up from there. I will tell you this. The way that this format is set up, especially now that since we know there's going to be a 12-team playoff again, I don't want LSU with a bye. I want a home game in Death Valley. That is literally the last thing Baton Rouge needs. We need a home playoff game in Death Valley. You think you've seen peak Death Valley before? Give us a home playoff game. Oh my God. You will see Baton Rouge lit like no other time you've seen it lit. It would be worse than Mardi Gras on Bourbon Street. Give us that. Don't want the week off. I don't want the week off. I want a home playoff game in Baton Rouge, especially because you've seen now in the last 2 years, teams with that first round bye are 1-7. And the only one was a team that went on the run to go on to win the championship this season in Indiana. And if that's the only one, that means the odds are against those who have the bye. So I like our odds not staying rusty, being able to keep in rhythm, playing through the playoff, and making somebody come beat us at home. And could you see that path take place where you potentially have that home playoff game in Baton Rouge and then go to the Sugar Bowl? Oh my God. Oh my God. It would be up for the state. I'm about to look up right now and see where the national championship game is. It's in Vegas next year. You want a path from Baton Rouge to New Orleans to Vegas for Louisiana State University fans? Huh. And don't give us that type of a good time coming off of a potential Omaha run too. We might drink out Vegas. The Sin City would see us coming and would have to turn its name into the Saint City because of the things that we would do and leave it in there. Do not tempt us with that good of a time. Don't do that. So don't be daunted. Don't feel upset. Don't feel worked up by the schedule. Be excited as a fan. This is what you want. This is what you pay for. You pay for games like this. No, you don't want cupcakes on the schedule. I am tired of seeing the Southerns and the ULMs getting paid $1 million just to come in here and get punched on. I don't want to see it. While it was fun to see that one time, LSU and Southern's bands join together, and LSU and Gramblin's band join together. That's great, great for the state. Cool. I want good quality games. I want the team to get better. I want the team to get prepared to go face the toughest competition. Now, do I think Greg Sankey got fleeced in adding that ninth game to the schedule? I absolutely do. Especially considering that you weren't able to get 16 teams into the playoffs this year because of disagreements. But that's for people who make a way bunch more money than I ever do. I'm not going to say ever will because you never know. Putting it out there, manifesting it. But that's for people who make money that I do not make to make those decisions. Just get it together so you can get to 16 teams, and this ninth game won't cost us next year because it will hurt an SEC team this season. Just hope to God it's not LSU because we were able to handle all our things and keep our players healthy. So let's end it off with this. Emmanuel Acho is probably one of the dumbest people to give a sports take in a while. And I'm not insulting his intelligence because he's very smart. He's very, very talented. And he speaks very well. But the dumbest take I have heard so far in 2026 was what he had the nerve to say on the old undisputed handle for his new podcast. When he told Shadur Sanders that he should not listen to anything Todd Monken had to say because he didn't win anything on the NFL level. Are you stupid? Todd Monken just coached a two-time NFL MVP. And granted, Lamar didn't win the MVP the 2 seasons that he was with him, but he helped refine his game. And you got to be dumb because he got there coming off the heels of back-to-back national championship runs at the University of Georgia with, oh, by the way, Stetson Bennett was his quarterback. Stetson Bennett plays a lot like Shadur Sanders. Not mobile, but has mobility. Smart and can make accurate throws. Isn't the best athlete on the field, but can make plays when need be. If I'm Shadur and I don't have that many options of coaches, I'm glad that it's Todd Monken. Because at least I have an offensive guy that I feel confidence in, who's been around, who's been in big games, and can help my offensive game elevate. And then you got the nerve to tell a 5th-round pick to not listen to the new coach? Like Shadur's been in the league for 5 years and he has the right to say, yeah, I'm not listening to this guy? Who's to say that Todd Monken doesn't even want to go out and find another quarterback? It's the NFL. It literally stands for not for long. The best advice you could give Shadur Sanders right now is to keep your head down, keep grinding, and keep doing what you've been doing. Take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves to you. Make the most out of it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to try to be perfect and just go be great. Just keep doing what you know that you can do. And I'm sure that he's heard that from way more influential people than me. But This clickbaiting stuff, this just saying stuff just to get takes off and just to get attention, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's borderline disrespectful, and especially coming from an individual with such esteem, so many accomplishments outside of football, makes you look unintelligent. And brother, you don't deserve that. And look, I get it. We're on the internet. People are going to always say things about you. They're always going to have comments. Oh well. But don't load the magazine for them and then put the bullet into the chamber. Like don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Emmanuel Acho is a smart man. He's accomplished a lot of things outside of football. He's built a platform for himself. He's written a lot of good things, worked with a lot of influential people, but making statements like that makes people downplay your accomplishments, and you don't deserve to have that, man. You don't. I didn't want. So I said I was going to end off with that. I do want to end off with this. All right, let's end off on some truth. It is hard for me to sit here and say that I'm excited for the LSU men's basketball team when I'm absolutely not. LSU men's basketball feels dead, and I don't like it. And I'm also afraid that there's no answer to fixing it right now. So support where you can, make noise as fans that you want to see change, and see what happens. God bless the women's team, and God bless Lynn Rollins. That game against Arkansas was absolutely fun, especially coming off the heels of the men's game against Mississippi State, where they actually got ran off of the floor in the PMAC. Hopefully, something changes. I mean, I think Will Wade will be in play as a potential head coach replacement, but will he leave a place like North Carolina State? Because they are an actual basketball program. They have facilities. They're way better than what LSU has right now as far as basketball is concerned. They are investing into the NIL for the roster. I don't know if it's at the rate that Will Wade expected or was promised, but they are doing it. So I don't know. It's a lot of up in the air. And if it's not Will Wade, then it's who. But I can tell you this. If by chance Verge Osbury pulls off the improbable and brings Will Wade back to Baton Rouge, you will see an injection of buzz and excitement like you have never seen before around this campus. And like I said to start the show off, the unity around this school within this state is unrivaled across this country. And adding Will Wade to something like this in this moment in time will only solidify the foundation that's been laid and where things are growing from there. So I say to you all, enjoy your Saturday, please. Go be kind, say hello to someone, be the difference in the world that you want to see. We are all individuals here. Everybody deserves a little bit of respect and kindness. Your smile, your hello, your see you later, your words of encouragement can literally change someone's life. Go show them why Louisiana is different. Go show them why we have a true community that's being formed here. And go show them why we always treat people with Southern hospitality. It's your boy AP. This is Timeouts and Tangents. Go follow me. Follow the podcast page at TNT underscore pod Nolan. Follow me on my personal page at AJP413. Love you too, Nick. We're about to get on out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. I hope to see you all soon, wherever it may be. Thank you once again for making me and this podcast a part of your day. Y'all have a great one. That was not how I wanted to end the show, but that's perfect for it to go that way. Have a good day. Love you.